Hi queens, welcome to my channel. My name is Ashley and this is my first ever makeup tutorial. I asked some friends on Snapchat and Facebook to ask me some questions in relation to makeup or just other things in general. But before we jump into it, please subscribe down below if you haven't already, which you probably haven't because this is my first ever tutorial. And also follow me on my Instagram at AOMUA. I'll have everything down in the description box below. We're gonna just jump right in. I always start with any type of facial spray. I really hope everything's not backwards, but whatever. So we're just gonna put some of this on our face. Give your face a good little... So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to prime my face, and a little goes a long way with this stuff. Avoid your nose, because that's actually gonna be the first question I answer today. What is the best technique for your nose, specifically for like cakiness when wearing foundation and things like that? If you don't know, I am a huge James Charles fan, but I love his technique for the nose because I actually have really bad blackheads on my nose. So I've been doing this technique ever since I learned it. But for the nose, I have the Shape Tape Tarte Concealer, but we are gonna go in with this color. So it's just light, medium sand. Just gonna pop this a little bit on my hand. So I'm just going to take some of this on the brush and I'm just going to put this directly on my nose. I kind of just do this as like a base. And lately I've been using a concealer brush because I do have my nose pierced. I'm not having a good time with it right now, but that's a different story for a different day. So I use a brush so that I don't actually touch my piercing. So once you get all that on your nose pretty good with just a regular concealer brush, I like to go in with this different concealer brush that I have, but it's called a Flawless Concealer Brush by e.l.f. And basically by doing this, Rose, it's going to help your nose and like all the oils really stay impact so that it blends seamlessly into the rest of my skin. Whether you're using this guy or this guy or this guy, you want to literally like push it into your skin and just like dab it. Just dab. Swipe or no swiping. If you swipe, no, don't do it. It's bad. Don't swipe. Just any makeup, throughout this whole process. Do not swipe your face. Do not swipe any products on your face, please. Next question. A good drugstore foundation that will not oxidize. Sabrina, you asked me this, and Karen, you just asked me what's a good drugstore foundation. The only type of drugstore foundation that I really like and I've tried a lot is the L'Oreal True Match. And the reason why is because on top of that in the summer, I use the Lancome's Dual Finish powder, and they are actually made by the same company. Let's talk about the full coverage, the high-end stuff, the stuff that's a little more pricey. Alexa, you asked this, and Rose, you kind of asked this as well. My all-time favorite right now is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place makeup. I think this is like in the 40s or 50s. This stuff ain't cheap, honey, but if you want to be thriving, you gotta be buying. It's just how the world works. Okay, so I'm gonna put on my foundation, and I already made my Beauty Blender damp. I'm opening Lay Foundation, and we're just gonna damp our Beauty Blender on there. And I like to put all my foundation everywhere first. I really should have wore a headband, but that's okay. And we're just gonna blend. And like I said before, push in your products, do not swipe. Make sure you get in your eyes, eyebrows, everywhere. Also important, make sure you put the foundation here. You don't want that ugly line. Girl, we're not living for that. Next is concealer. And I'm gonna go in light with the Shape Tarte. I'm gonna go in light with the Shape Tape by Tarte. We got dark eyes. We just got dark everywhere. A little goes a long way. Don't forget. Again, I go back in with this thing. I just like this better for concealer. I don't know why. It just works really well for me. But Kennedy, yes, the Tarte Shape Tape is hands down my favorite concealer. Concealer is popped. It's in. We covered our dark circles and all the ugliness. We are going to take the Born This Way by Too Faced Translucent Powder. And we're gonna open this baby up, and I'm gonna move my notebook because I always get makeup everywhere. Open it upside down. So there's a good amount of powder in here. I think powder, some of it flew in the air. We're gonna take our damp Beauty Blender and just start pushing it into your skin until it literally disappears. But let me tell you, if you're doing your makeup every day like this, you're gonna run out of translucent powder in like 2 weeks. Like I said prior, I'm having some issues with my nose piercing, so if there's like a black dot, I don't want to talk about it, but I feel like I should say something. So you gotta set this, girl. You gotta set this. But I literally learned most of this from one video from James Charles. He sister slays. What can I say? I'm using Morphe's Continuous Setting Mist, and then I'm just gonna use my hands just to really dry this. But to answer your question, Danny, what we've done so far is my favorite part of my routine, because literally there are some days where I'm like, let me just brush my eyebrows and leave. I love it all, but I really love seeing what my face just looks like clean. Okay, Sabrina, this one's for you. How do you contour on the daily? I tell myself I'm like gonna do a simple contour, and it just never works out that way. So I start with a Hoola Benefit, and then I also have the Morphe 8L contour palette. I already very lightly put bronzer on this side of my face. I'm just gonna show you guys how I did the other. I kind of have still semi-wet brushes, so I screwed up a little bit. But you're gonna take some of it, damp the excess off, and then just like I said, pat it into where you would kind of want your contour to go. Ooh, look at that. Because I have a big forehead, I like to just kind of shade that out a little bit. I'm just gonna fix this over here, and then I very lightly go into my jaw. Nothing major. Make sure you carry this down so that it all blends. But we are going to go in with this guy, and now I'm gonna triple check that all my brushes are dry. Don't do that to your brushes. Don't be like me. Literally is called a contour brush from the Morphe Vegan Pro Set. I'm gonna take the color Donut, what I wish I was eating right now. I'm gonna go in here and just start at the top and slowly work the contour up. And I'm gonna go for a lighter glam today since you asked for an everyday glam. Normally I darken this up with Debutante. The color next to it that's a little bit darker. I'll keep it simple. I don't touch the jaw again. Like, let's face it, we all got weight. I'm just gonna embrace it. I'm just blending. When you want to blend, do small circular motions. This is my highlighting brush. It's been through some struggles. I just sprayed some setting spray on it, and I'm just going into this with my Jeffree Star highlighter. So pretty. In Frozen Peach, Supreme Frost Frozen Peach. Putting that in this area. Look how pretty that is. Jeffree, how do you do this? How do you do this? If I get into this, I feel like I'm going to be like Antonio Garza and upload like once a year. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to bake. So with the remainder of the translucent powder that's in your thing, grab your still damp beauty blender and you're going to bake. Literally stick it and do that there, and go up to the nose where you want the contour to stop. This will help your nose contour look way better. Remember when I said if you like use translucent powder all the time, it's expensive? This is why it's expensive. And this is why I don't do my makeup every day, because ain't nobody got money for that. Okay, so as I said before, maybe I didn't, I don't know, my eyebrows are really outgrown right now, so we're just gonna let those live. But we're gonna use a giant fluffy brush. It's a Real Techniques brush, powder brush. Look at that. And we're gonna wipe this off. Take that bad boy off. So once that's dry and good, we are gonna go into the fun stuff. Devin asked me, what is your favorite palette and why? Let me tell you. This should not be no surprise, but the James Charles Morphe palette is hands down my favorite right now. But this baby, of course it's the back end, this baby is beautiful. And it's what we are going to be using today. I love this palette because, let me just show you, okay? First of all, it's bigger than my head. Hello. It was only $39. Hello. Just, hold on. Like, it's used. I'm sorry. Shouldn't be a surprise. Okay, so I'm looking through the questions, and Sabrina asked what are different shapes of eyeshadow brushes used for. We'll talk about it. And Franny asked how to do a cut crease. I'm going to show you. This palette's going to be the only thing that I use. I'm not going to use any other palette, but I am going to start by priming my eyes. I'm going to be using Urban Decay's eyeshadow primer potion. Okay. And then just taking my pinky and putting the product into my lid. Voila. And I'm going to take canvas. I always like to set my eyes before I go and put color on them. And I'm just using this fluffy angled brush by Real Techniques. It says base shadow brush. Makes sense. It's the coolest thing to me. So Sabrina, to answer your question, I like to use this type of brush to push in just like my base color to kind of set the primer in place. Okay, so I'm taking this fluffy brush that just came out of my Vegan Pro Set. I'm gonna take the color Social Blade, which is this really pretty lime green. I'm just gonna start putting this in my outer crease. I purposely put this color really high because I'm gonna be throwing on a really dark shade and then just blending the two together. I'm gonna take this little brush. There's already green on it, so I might as well. I wash my brushes, but sometimes they get stained and you just gotta go with it. And I'm gonna take the color Daddy. Okay, James, I see you. It's a very, very dark green. And on the outer corner, all the way up to that lime green, I'm just gonna push this in there. And I want this green to pop. I'm gonna go back in with this same brush, and I'm gonna blend this dark green back into that lime green so that it blends seamlessly. And Sabrina, when you're blending, especially with blending brushes like this, use small little circles. And if I'm being entirely honest with you, I don't know what every brush does. Like, you just kind of play with it and figure it out. Or I guess you could do the research. I'm sure there's somebody out there that explains what the brushes do. That's as blended as I want it to be for now. I might add more color in later, but we're not gonna stress yet. So I'm gonna take this guy, but we're gonna take, you're kidding, and we're going to put that right in the middle. Do not touch the inner corner. Look at this. And then just dab this in the middle. I'm gonna use this guy. This is not a Morphe brush. I bought this when I was in Ireland. And I'm just gonna use that to blend the red and the green together. I'm gonna take this Morphe M506 brush. I am just gonna take a dab of this green, the Daddy color again, and just really make sure it's blended in with that red nicely. Okay. So now, the cut crease. Let's jump in. The part you've all been waiting for, and will make this look literally 40 times better. I'm taking a flat concealer brush. It's just like flat across. And I'm gonna go back in with my Shape Tape because it's my favorite thing in the world. I like to go like this and then clip your eye up so then you get where your crease actually like ends. And I'm not gonna do a crazy cut crease like all the way out because I really want that red to still stick out. I like to kind of pat the concealer at the end so it like fades naturally. So I'm just gonna take this other very flat tiny brush from my Morphe Vegan Pro set as well, but I'm just gonna use Face, which is this really pretty gold shimmer, and I'm just gonna put that in the crease, like on the concealer part. I'm gonna go back in with You're Kidding and just very, very, very heckin' lightly, just a little bit, just a little bit. And you can kind of like naturally blend this red in with the gold. Okay, so I've pretty much put on eyeliner, I did my under eye makeup, I reapplied some more highlighter because that's what I usually do in my next step, and I did my lips. I over outline, as you can tell. I have the tiniest lips in the world, so. Next, we are going to do lashes and mascara and all that fun jazz. I love using the Better Than Sex mascara by Too Faced. And before I put on lashes, I always put on mascara first. Holly, you asked me if I use an eyelash curler. I don't. My natural eyelashes are very curly, so if you've ever seen me with no makeup on, or very little and like just mascara, I can promise you I don't use an eyelash curler. I don't even have one in my kit. So the lashes I'm going to be using today, they're called Hot Stuff and they're by Morphe. They're premium lashes. I have already used them, but this is what they look like. Take the glue, should be mostly dry at this point. The type of glue I like to use, by the way, is this Duo, like has a paintbrush. And then with a mirror looking down, take the lash and right by your lashes. Usually with the outer corner, I just use my fingers. Lashes are probably the most difficult thing of my whole entire routine. Like, I don't wear lashes a lot because of how long they take. And when I do them underneath my eye, they take even longer. Another question from my coworker Reed. Why is Reed the best coworker? Everyone's amazing. There's my answer. Alright guys, so this is the finished look. I hope you all enjoyed. I had a great time filming this, but I have a huge mess in front of me that I need to clean up, and I'm hungry, so I'm gonna go eat some pizza. Let me know what you guys want to see in the future, and feel free to leave more questions down below. I'm really happy that I did like a little holiday look. It turned out really well. If you guys want to see pictures, I'll have them up on my Instagram, again at AOMUA. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time, queens. Have a royal time.